live. Welcome back to Earle Sports Bets, and today we're starting the 2023 MLB season previews. We'll be starting in the American League East. We'll be working to the Central, then the West, and then we're going to work backwards through after that with the National League. We're going to go from the West, the Central, to the East. In the National League, we're going to be doing every single team. We're going to be breaking down their additions, their subtractions, their prospect pools, their futures odds, their projected starting lineups, everything we need to know to get ready and get us into capping baseball full time. Starting in opening day is like a month away, or a little bit more than a month away. So we'll be going over the New York Yankees today. So we brought in Yankee fan at that man Brian on Twitter. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing good, man. I'm appreciative you guys asked me to join. You know, I do love talking about my boys. Was a terrible way to end the season, but it's new season for everyone, a fresh 162 games. So let's make some money, and hopefully they bring us a little joy. Well, bring me a little joy. That would not bring you guys any joy at all. So,
well, who knows? Because maybe looking at the futures at the end of the show, maybe I wouldn't mind a little bit of Yankee success this year of what I'm kind of expecting out of this team and what I'm looking to bet for this team futures-wise. A little spoiler there. But yeah, we got the 2023 New York Yankees here. We're going to be starting with the additions / re-signings. I kind of just grouped them all together here. And I did not include players in this list where they just re-signed to avoid arbitration. I just looked at the ones who actually were free agents that re-signed with the team, and then the losses here. So some additions and re-signings: Gleyber Torres, Domingo Germán, Wilmer Depot, this guy Aaron Judge, Carlos Rendon, Tommy Kanekel. I don't think I pronounced that right. And Anthony Rizzo. Subtractions for the New York Yankees here: Jameson Taillon, Chad Green, Zach Britton, and Marwin Gonzalez. Overall, for this list, number one, they got Aaron Judge back. That was the number one priority, I think, for the New York Yankees this offseason. So they did a good job on that front. They needed to get him back. And they also added probably I'm not going to say the best free agent pitcher because that guy went to Texas. But they added they added one of the top pitchers on the free agent market with Carlos Rendon, which when we get to their projected lineup, the Yankees project for a really strong rotation. I love the addition of Carlos Rendon. Kanekel was a nice little addition for the middle of that bullpen, and then the re-signings there with Torres, Germán, Rizzo, some nice pieces they re-signed there. As for their subtractions from looking at from my end here, Jameson Taillon, he's a middle of the line bullpen or starting guy. He went to Chicago. Interested to see what he's going to do with the Cubbies this year. Chad Green, Zach Britton, they lost a couple of bullpen pieces there. Chad Green was good, but he was injured last year. And Zach Britton was here or there. So I don't think that they're going to miss him too much. And Marwin Gonzalez was kind of a bench guy. So overall, I think that they improved over the offseason. They re-signed the guy they needed to re-sign. And they didn't lose too much, in my opinion. So we're going to start with Brian here. What's your thoughts on the additions and subtractions for the New York Yankees this offseason?
So I think that they did improve. My biggest issue, I'll do my issues first before I get into the things I was happy about. My biggest issue is that, yes, they added Rodon, and I think that just bolsters the starting rotation. And I think that in the grand scheme of things, they probably position better later on in the year to win games. But also to that same point, the Yankees pitching really wasn't their issue in the playoffs. They pitched, for all intents and purposes, they pitched well enough in two and a half of those Astros games to have won them if they got better hitting. They needed better situational hitting, but they pitched well enough in like 2.5 of those games, enough to, one, avoid a sweep, but then two, to at least make it respectable and probably push it to 6 games. If they just had better situational hitting, the Astros pitching it picked us apart. And even in the Cleveland series, they struggled at times. And so I'm worried that they didn't really improve the offense. And Hal and Brian Cashman's explanation, and Aaron Boone for that matter, their reasoning was that basically DJ LeMahieu was going to be healthy again. He had a bunch of issues that kind of kept him off from being productive all year, just kind of lingering stuff. And then he would finally address it, and then surgery and yada yada yada. And I think that's my biggest gripe. So when you're factoring into like futures odds and stuff like that, and just betting day to day, you got to realize that this is the same Yankees offense next year that you got this year, which was good. It was good. It just did not perform in the playoffs. And so, and even in the regular season, there was times where, especially in the second half of the season, they tapered off their scoring, right? And they went into that slide because first half of the season, the Yankees were on a record pace offensively with the record and stuff like that. And then the offense kind of tapered off towards after the All-Star break. So I'm iffy on that part of it. But between DJ LeMahieu being back, who's a very, very good, he's a very professional hitter. He's won batting titles in both leagues. And then obviously the idea that they're expecting to take guys like Josh Johnson out the lineup, IKF out the lineup, guys who are holes, and you got younger guys who are going to play in front of them who offer a little bit more and stuff like that. We'll see how that goes. But, outside of that, obviously Aaron Judge was the big one. And Carlos Rodon coming is just awesome to me. Tommy Kahnle, the pitcher that they signed, he was former Yankee, went to the Dodgers, came back, yada, yada, yada. He's a local kid from New York. He's grew up a Yankees fan. He was very big in those 17, 18 years when they were battling with the Astros and stuff like that in ALCS again. So he's back, and I think that's a really good piece to the bullpen. He automatically replaces Shad Green. I don't really care about losing Taillon because outside of Garrett Cole, without all the strikeouts and all the the good performances that Cole is good for, Taillon gave up so many home runs. Just so many home runs. And
that's kind of easy to do in that ballpark.
Yeah, and yes, it is. But also to the same point, though, he would just not make good pitches in the worst, the most in the stupid situations. Why are you throwing a fastball right down the middle of the plate? Come on, man. To a left-handed batter, no less. Like you said, in Yankee Stadium, where it takes a gust of wind and it goes.
Tim, is a sound problem for him too?
So
there you go. Your sound just came back for whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You were quiet for a second there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just I think overall it was. If I had to give it a grade, I'd say it's a B-. It doesn't really move the needle too much. But I also think because other teams, notably the Astros, they did lose a piece or two. I don't know how much that helps them get over the hump. It doesn't really hurt them, but I can't really honestly say that they got over the hump this year. So we'll see.
Yeah. Cubano saying, gonna miss those overs with Taillon.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Tim, your thoughts on the additions and subtractions of the New York Yankees here this offseason?
I feel like I don't want to say they treaded their tires in mud. They got done what they needed to get done. They got Judge back. That was their big free agent signing. But this is pretty much the same team as last year. So
which is still a 100-win baseball team.
Granted, they won 99 games last year.
Yep.
Yeah. This is still a Yankees team that's going to probably win the division. I'm going to take a little bit of a long shot with somebody else, but this is still a Yankees team that's going to be strong this year. Obviously, getting Rizzo back, and I believe he signed 3 years.
Yeah.
That's solid, especially with the short porch. He's going to definitely have a field day in Yankee Stadium like he did last year. Rondon is a big upgrade over Jameson Taillon, which I didn't hate Taillon. He'll let up the long ball every once in a while, but he ended up having a solid year.
Yeah, Taillon was respectable.
But when you can get Rondon over him, 100%.
Yeah.
But this is a Yankees team that's you're gonna have to get some stuff out of your young guys. So whether or not you can get it out of Lupe and some of the other guys, that's gonna be another big story, and that will definitely kind of show what the Yankees will be able to do this year. But you still got the solid pieces. Your rotation is still one of the best in baseball. The bullpen is going to be quite solid. And the offense, if it's anything like it was last year, this Yankees team is probably going to end up winning the division.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll head into the next one here. We're going to be looking at some of those the young guys, seeing if they can get some production from that. The New York Yankees prospects, not too much to dive into. They have the 12th rated prospect pool, according to prospects1500.com, MLB farm system type of site. Their top prospects here, they have two that are expected to be on the team in 2023. I believe one is projected on the opening day roster. Anthony Volpe is their number five prospect in baseball. This is the numbers are the overall in baseball. The Yankees have 3 top 100 prospects in baseball. Volpe, number 5. He's due up this year. He's the shortstop. He's probably going to take Isaiah Kiner Falefa's spot. Jason Dominguez is due next year. He's the number 47 prospect. And Oswald Peraza is actually projected in the starting roster to start the year. He's the number 52 prospect for the Yankees. The prospect pool, it's only has 3 in the top 100, but I mean, there are still 30 teams. So I guess that's about par for the course. That's why they're around 12th here. I expect Peraza and Volpe to be pretty decent this season when they do come up. And what's your thoughts on the prospect pool here? We'll start with Tim, and then we'll go to Bryant next.
Yeah, this is how the Yankees are going to have to get their offense, because Volpe and Peraza are going to be 2 big pieces that, I mean, anything's going to be better than Josh Donaldson and Isaiah Kiner Falefa. And yeah, Brian's nodding his head. It's good. Let them play the first couple of months. Really see what you get out of them, because if Volpe is as good as advertised, he could be an all-star in a year or 2. So that's definitely going to be an interesting spot to look at. Obviously, they're not expecting Dominguez until next year, but this is where the offense is going to have to come from, or at least the missing pieces that was last year. Hey, maybe you guys get your prospects going up, and it could help really bolster that lineup that we'll go over in a minute, with all the other veterans that you guys got on this team. So I think you got some solid pieces. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and by the way, these years are the projected or the estimated MLB debuts according to the MLB.com. So, Bryant, what's your thoughts on some of these prospects? What should we expect from some of them this year?
So I'll address the big one. So Volpe obviously has been the Yankees' prized prospect for the last 2 years. They drafted him first round. He bypassed going to play at Vanderbilt, which is one of the premier baseball institutions in the USA. He was teammates with Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter as well. And so the Yankees' reluctance to pay for a shortstop has been because of him. They have chosen to skip over Trevor Story, which, I mean, looking back now, that was a good idea. But they chose to skip out on Correa, Trey Turner. Just, you can name all the big name shortstops over the last couple of years that have been on the free agent, that have been free agents and whatnot. They have chosen to skip out on them because of Volpe. They're hoping basically he has the same effect that a certain shortstop that is retired and is a Hall of Famer now. They hope he has the same.
Yep.
They hope he has the same sort of effect on the team. So he started off spring training really well. He had 2 hits, stole 2 bases in his first spring training game as part of the 40-man roster or whatever. I do not expect him to make the opening day roster. I expect him to be on the 40-man, but I don't expect him to make it simply because I feel like if they were so inclined to really see what he was about, he would have got brought up last year when IKF was doing jack shit, leading the league in defensive errors and as a shortstop. They would have brought him up then. And so because of that, I don't expect to see him early on this year, but I do expect to see him by June. I expect to see him by June because that gives you time to evaluate him before the trade deadline. Because then if he performs, then you don't have to necessarily go out and try to find someone else. And also, to that point, Gavin Lux of the Dodgers just got hurt, a non-contact injury running to third base.
That's unfortunate.
That's a very unfortunate situation. But a Yankee account that I follow that's very informative, they brought up a good point. It now brings up the idea that, like, hate to say it, but IKF then becomes like kind of a trade target because a team needs like the Dodgers kind of need someone like that, right? So let's say he gets shipped off before the season even starts. Then now Volpe is absolutely almost a lock to be the bench guy. So you get to see what he has early on, see what the hype is all about. Dominguez is super. He has a bunch of tools. He's not playing this year unless he just absolutely eats up AA pitching and stuff like that. He's
either that or injuries.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have some crazy injuries, but I don't expect to see him till next year. So this is just really kind of him just kind of buying his time. Peraza is the guy that is immediately tasked with replacing IKF, while Volpe is kind of actually going to be positioned to replace Glaber in the coming years, assuming that Glaber doesn't sign a long-term contract, which is looking more and more likely based on how kind of things took place this offseason. So nonetheless, I'm excited for Peraza. He's great defensively. His offense is not bad. It's just not the same as his defense. But I'm okay if he's going to perform and keep runs off the board. I'm cool with whatever he gives me offensively. And I think that's kind of how me and the rest of the Yankee fans kind of feel. Like, IKF's defense was so bad that we were just like, I don't even care about the kid's offense. Just like, stop booting like regular ground balls in the middle, like in the ninth inning, like a routine double play, or because he was costing us games. Like, he legitimately on like 3 or 4 occasions that I can distinctly remember, and I can like highlight the entire situation, his error let the game-winning run in, or let the game-winning run get to third base, and then boom, game was over. So I'm excited to see Peraza. I'm hopeful that I see Volpe. But those are the two that we really, really are depending on. And I think if they provide us that, then it validates the front office for not going out to get another shortstop. And if they produce, then we're good. You know what I'm saying? I think that they fill the holes basically left out by not having a competent shortstop and kind of a competent third baseman. But that's really more for DJ LeMahieu to figure out. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what these prospects do. Cubano saying we better keep Jason.
Yeah, he was trade bait for Brian Reynolds, but I don't think that's happening now.
And John saying World Series champs. I wouldn't go that far. We will talk about futures at the end of the show, but we will. I believe the next thing we're getting into is the projected starting lineup here for the Yankees. And then we will move into their futures here after that. For the starting rotation, this is the projected lineup for the first for opening day. We have projected for Torres, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton. Donaldson's in there. That was the lineup I got, but I highly doubt he'll actually be in there. Harrison Bader, Aaron Hicks, Oswald Peraza. There's your Peraza is probably going to be in the starting lineup there, and then Jose Trevino. It's a great lineup. They will go as Aaron Judge goes. Really, that's the way this offense worked last year too. Is they were as Aaron Judge did. The starting rotation: Garrett Cole, Carlos Rondon, Luis Severino, Nestor Cortez, and Domingo Germán. Solid starting rotation. I actually really like this rotation. And then the bullpen here, starting from the top to the bottom. Lyons, Barnes, Garcia, Abreu, Marciano, Canali, Trevino, Peralta, Gerber, Green, Loaizica, King, and Holmes. Holmes being the closer, projected closer for the Yankees. Overall, I think this is a very solid lineup. And it's pretty similar to the lineup last year that won 100 games. This is going to be one of the best rotations in baseball, in my opinion. Definitely with the top of it being Cole and Rondon, and your 3, 4, 5 being Severino, Cortez, Germán. Really like that. Overall strong rotation as our bullpen as well. The offense, I think, can be there. It's going to go as Aaron Judge does. If he's producing, then this offense will produce. If not, then he won't. But overall, looks very similar last year. I think this is still another 100-win baseball team. We'll start with Tim on this one. What's your thoughts on this one?
If anybody's expecting Aaron Judge to hit 62 home runs again, it's not going to happen. He had an absolute career year on a contract year. He is not doing that shit again. He'll hit 40, 45, maybe. I don't expect him having an absolutely monster year again. I would expect a big step up from Rizzo. And if you can get a healthy Stanton for the entire year, that 2, 3, 4 may be one of the most dangerous trios in baseball this year. Granted, if all can stay healthy. I know Judge finally had a full, complete year. So the first time that we've seen him really play a good chunk of the games. So we'll see whether or not he can stay healthy for it. The rest of the lineup, they're going to do what they're going to do. Bader should be closer to the top. He'll end up – he was a nice addition during the trade deadline for them last year. Donaldson will be out of there, and it'll only improve when you take him out. We'll see how – obviously, we see how Peraza did. Trevino had a career year last year. Is he going to be another all-star again? I don't know. We'll see with that one. But this Yankees lineup, it's still solid. Obviously, with every other team, it's the health of Judge, Rizzo, Stanton that's going to really kind of project where this lineup's going to go. So if they can stay healthy, this is one of the most dangerous lineups in baseball. I will say that.
Yeah, and we're getting comments. Bader gonna hit leadoff. What? I just took this lineup off of RotoChamp.com, honestly, and they have LeMahieu on the bench because they don't know. So that's probably why. Scratch out Hicks. What a lineup! Yeah, probably. Yeah, this is not going to be the starting lineup. This is just the lineup that they have projected on one of the sites I used. So that's basically to answer the questions for people asking why certain players are certain places. I got this off a line. Off a thing. I don't follow the Yankees that in depth where I know their starting lineup and all that. So I got this off a website. So for those, but Bryant, what's your thoughts on the lineup, the rotation, and the bullpen here?
So, as my fellow Yankee fans in the comments have already kind of said, Bader definitely seems like more of a candidate to lead off. I think Gleyber can work there. They've tried it already this spring training. He did it a couple times last year. But I would personally put Bader there because of his speed element. He get on base, cause a little chaos there. Obviously, Hicks. Any real Yankee fan knows how we all have like a universal feeling towards Aaron Hicks. So he really should be on there. I think that's where Oswaldo Cabrera comes into the mix. He was kind of a younger spark plug that we played towards the end of the season into the playoffs and stuff like that. Hit a home run, had a couple hits in the playoffs as well. Trevino, again, if he's playing platinum glove type of defense, I don't care what he does at the plate. Like literally everything else he did at the plate last year was bonus. He was masterful with our pitching staff. If he provides that again this year, I think we'll all be happy. You guys kind of nailed it though. The 2, 3, and 4 guys are the ones to really drive this team, which is kind of why I was like, man, like I really wish we'd gotten someone else offensively for that bottom half of the order. But everything kind of goes like you said. If Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, and Giancarlo Stanton perform up to par, as long as they're healthy, they'll perform. I do not expect Aaron Judge to hit 62 more home runs this year. I do expect 45. I still think he leads the AL. But 62 was absurd. I already sprinkled his MVP future just because I did it last year. After I saw him, after he posted that video, or the video leaked of him saying, "I think I'm going to hit 60," or I think he said 50. It might have been 50 or whatever it was. He was in a batting cage last year prior to his contract year, and he said that he was going to hit a certain amount of home runs. He went out and did that, won it, and I saw it, and I just got hyped. Just as a Yankee fan, I went and put a future ticket in, put $25, made a nice little hunk of change off of it. I'm going to do that again, although I think that the future actually goes to someone else, one of the Angels stars, but I'll do it just because. I think, though, the biggest person that you really should worry about, or not necessarily worry about, the person that's going to make a jump, and it's going to be someone I'm going to be targeting for hit props, is Gleyber Torres. He has some really bright moments. When he's on, he is on. and he looked like that in like August to September. But he's also in a contract year, right? So he is playing for whatever new contract comes next, whether it's the Yankees or whoever else. He is playing for that, and I think that he is going to ball out this year. And that's someone that I would definitely look towards going forward for like hit props, total bases, or whatever. I just feel it. He's had a couple good years in pinstripes before, but he seems like the type of guy that is that like fourth or fifth player that you really need to kind of make your lineup like a really strong, formidable force. Pitching wise, everything is kind of easy to explain. You got Cole, Rodon, Severino, Cortez. Herman is not going to probably be the fifth starter. It's going to be Clark Schmidt. They don't trust Herman enough, and they want to see if Clark Schmidt is worth investing in as the fifth starter. So I think that he's going to be there. I do think you'll see Herman get some starts, but the rotation is solid as hell. Like that's the one area of this team I'm not worried about at all. And the bullpen is the bullpen. I think it's really solid. Hope Clay Holmes is Clay Holmes like we got last year at the beginning part, not that end of the season crap that he was on. I think he was just tired. I'm really excited again about Canley coming back to the team. Albert Abreu, we got Ron Marinaccio back healthy again, and Michael King should be back. Michael King was elite before he got hurt. He's throwing, and looks like he's going to be on track for the season as well. Probably won't come into like later on in April, but nonetheless, I think everything is solid. Like you said, both of you nailed it. They didn't really bring back, or they didn't do anything extra from a team that won 99 games last year. So 97, anywhere from 97 to 100 wins is about what I expect. Something went terribly wrong if you like deviate that far away and you didn't like lose like anything significant and you didn't bring in anything significant. You know what I'm saying? So like 97, I think the win total is like set at 94 and a half. I think that's safe.
Yep, we'll get into that next slide.
Yeah, I think that's safe. So if they drop off any more than like 5 or 6 wins, I'm gonna be rolling my eyes at them. But I think all in all, everything is solid in every facet of this team. So
yeah, which will bring us into the last slide for the show. Quick, we have a couple of comments. Richie P saying Torres strikes out Rizzo. Judge Rizzo standing on base. Jonathan, if him strikes out, Bader gets a hit. Occupancy saying, is that Brian? I've never seen him without a hat or glasses.
It is.
Yeah, it's Brian, says Richie. And they say, what's good? Catching up on some baseball and looking to catch some NHL today. But we'll head into the final slide here. This is going to be my favorite slide for most of these teams, is getting into the betting aspect of it. How are we going to approach this team heading into the season? I have one thing that I like for a future with with these teams, with the Yankees here. Obviously, the playoffs. I mean, looking at the prices alone, it's no or nothing because it's plus 300. I'm not laying $5 on anything. If you know me. So if I had to bet it, I'm not, because I like their win total over 94.5 is where I'm going to be going with this team, over 94.5. Like I said, this was a 99 win baseball team, and they didn't do much to change. So I see them as around that 97 to 99 win baseball team still. The division, I'm not interested in plus 105. I like another team actually for the division. We'll get into it in a couple streams. It's not the Orioles. Don't roll your eyes. It's not the Orioles. Don't worry.
I know who it is. I know who Tim's is. I know who yours is.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I like another team kind of just from the price point. I don't think plus 105 is enough for me to take a future like this full season. American League and World Series. No. I believe the Yankees have the second shortest odds to win the World Series and the second shortest odds to win the American League, only behind the Houston Astros. I still think the Astros are the team to beat in the American League. I'm sorry, Bryant. I still think they're still the better overall team, and I don't really have an interest in the Yankees to win a pennant or to win the World Series at those prices, but I'm definitely interested in their over 94.5 wins here. So that's kind of where I'm going to be approaching the Yankees here when it comes to futures. It's just their win total over. Tim, your thoughts, and then we'll finish off with Bryant.
Yeah, I think you pretty much tagged on the things the right way. 94.5 win total. Honestly, I think that's about right. I think they'll be anywhere from 92 to 95, 96, somewhere in that area. And I don't think they need to win all that many games in order to win the division, just because everybody's going to beat each other up. Obviously, to make the playoffs, I'm never betting anything that stupid. Obviously, it's no or nothing because minus 500. I'm never laying that, but I'm not betting that. The Yankees will probably make the playoffs. The only way that they don't is that the 2 through 4 all go out in April for the entire year, and then they just can't do anything. No, they're going to make the playoffs. Let's be honest. As much as I would love to see them miss, they're not going to. To win the AL East, plus 105, no. Obviously, should they win the AL East? Yes, they should. But when it comes to betting futures, plus 105 is just not enough. If I was able to get 145, 150, somewhere in that range, maybe I look at it. Essentially at a even money area, that's not worth locking up my futures. I would take bigger risks. Obviously, Nick already tagged on who I'm going to end up picking for the division, just because.
I never said the team. I don't think we're going to say the teams until we get to the shows,
True.
right?
And then to win the American League and the World Series, I still think Houston's the team to beat. And in the American League, I think that the Yankees are number 3 because I do think Seattle's better than them too. I think they improved enough. So I think somebody out of the West will end up making the World Series. Although at the end of the year, it'll probably end up being Houston and New York again in the ALCS, because it always is. But for the World Series, for the pennant, I'm going to go with no. Although they definitely could, but I would take risks with other teams before I would go and grab up on the Yankees for that one. I think they make the playoffs. I think they end up winning the division, maybe 93, 94, 95 wins, something in that range, right around their win total. But nothing further than that until they prove that they can beat the Astros. Once they prove that, maybe looking towards a pennant. If we go and see the Yankees beat the Astros in the playoffs this year, maybe next year I can look towards them to win the AL. But for it right now, the Astros are still better, even with them losing Verlander. They are still the better team at the moment, so I can't do anything with them winning the AL or the World Series. But it still should be a good year for them.
Bryant, your thoughts on getting involved in some futures here?
Yeah, so I've already locked in the team wins. I am not going to bet on the Yankees to win AL East because plus 105 is pointless. I'd rather not invest a crap ton of money on something like that. Plus 105, it's just really stupid. I can make that up over the course of an entire whatever amount of money that I would bet on that. I could just make it up over the course of the entire season, just regular game to game betting and stuff like that. Or just a different future elsewhere, where you get way better odds. Like say, for example, like the NL Central or the NL West or something like that. Like I think that there's
fun, yeah.
Yeah, there's better value elsewhere to bet on someone to win a division. I think that they do win it, but plus 105 is stupid. Obviously, I think in them they're going to win the division. Obviously, they'll make the playoffs. There's no value there. I would
You're not
say
minus 500.
I would say this. Now, listen, everyone who's listening for betting purposes. If the Yankees have a debilitating injury to one of those 2 through 4 guys, and the offense sputters somewhere into May or June, I would then hop on it and then maybe take him to hit no. I would do no then if you're looking for some value there, because I think that losing one of those guys for an extended period of time could really hurt this team, especially considering they didn't really upgrade the lineup in any other meaningful capacity. So if one of them does go out for an extended period of time, I would hop on it then for them to miss the playoffs. But outside of that, I have no problems with anyone saying no to the Yankees winning the American League and no to the Yankees winning the World Series because they just haven't proven it yet. There's just no reason. And like Tim said, the Astros currently, as it stands, like paper for paper, like on paper right now, if you look at the rosters and you look at everything and what we know and what we've seen, the Astros are the better team. And I'm not even against. I think it is if there is a legitimate argument in saying that the Mariners are at least on par with the Yankees or better than the Yankees right now too. But I also am a firm believer in like actual. There's like moral and not moral, but like like angles and motivational aspects and stuff like that. I've been adamant about that, and I think that until the Mariners prove it, I can't really put them over the Yankees yet. But I can put them. I can put the Astros over the Yankees because they've proven it plenty of times already, regular season and the playoffs. So it's a no for me on the on the American League pennant, and no for me on the World Series. If they get off to a crazy hot start, I'll do it. I'll hop on the World Series bandwagon as a homer. But other than that, I think you just stick with the Yankees win totals and just ride it out and do your in-season stuff. And like I said, I'm going to put some on Judge's future as the MVP, but sprinkle a little bit. And I would also ask this if you guys want to have like a little extra, either Rodon or Cole to lead the American League in Ks. I think it's one of those two. I don't know who, but both of those guys put up some insane K numbers. Garrett Cole obviously led the league last year in strikeouts. I think they're just going to be having a field day with that. So that's something I'm already looking into, and something I'm going to bet on. I just don't know who yet. But I ultimately think Cole gets it. But Rodon's going to give him a fight for that title. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I have one player future I would look at with the Yankees. I had Aaron Judge last year to win the MVP at 15-1. That was a play that I was on. I don't know if I would bet it this year. Obviously, he had the career year last year, and I just think the value is gone on it now. Like, you're not getting
100%. Like I said, I did it just as a homer, but the value is completely out. Like, you're better off going to
You're better off going to Stanton if you want to stick with the Yankees for a MVP prop. You're better off going to Stanton at the price he's at. But what I really actually want to look at here, if I'm looking at a player future, is we'll touch on Carlos Rendon. I kind of like a little bit of him to win the Cy Young Award. That would be where I would go if I'm betting any type of player future here for the Yankees. It's Carlos Rendon to win the Cy Young. So that's kind of my thoughts. Tim, you looking at any player futures for the Yankees?
I will say, I think Giancarlo Stanton's going to be the MVP for the Yankees this year. I think at the end of the year, Stanton's going to have better numbers than Judge. I'll put as long as he stays healthy.
That's a huge asterisk.
If he can stay healthy, he will have better numbers than Judge. As for pitching, no, not really. I think Rondon and Cole will have solid years. There's other players that I like better for Cy Young Award.
My Cy Young pick is actually on the Rays.
McClanahan?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna get to that when we get to the Rays show. Absolutely, that's somebody I'm looking at as well.
Let me know when you guys do that. I'll be on for that because I'm only on there just to talk about their pitching. Their pitching is filthy, man.
Oh my God, yeah, we will definitely get into that. That will be on Wednesday. We're doing the Blue Jays. We're doing the Blue Jays tomorrow, and we're doing the Rays on Wednesday and the Orioles on Thursday, right? Or is it Thursday for the Rays?
No, we went Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays,
Orioles, Red Sox.
Okay, I'll be on for the Rays then, just to talk about their pitching.
Their pitching is filthy,
I have two Cy Youngs that I'm more interested in. One's on Houston and one's on Seattle. But
my dad in the chat going, "Let's go Mets!" Absolutely, let's go Mets. No, it's about this money, Spider-Man. It's about the Mets, baby. Let's go, yeah. We're doing a show about the Yankees, but yet check out the merch one of the hosts is wearing. Says it all. Honestly, whenever we do a show on a team I actually have merch for, like if I had a Yankee jersey, I'd be wearing it for this show because I want to, but I currently do not own one.
Yeah.
I need to go out and get one.
Yeah.
Brian,
but
if
I
you want to
currently do
send
not
us
own
a
one.
Yankee jersey, we're
Funny.
I mean, I will.
First 5 unders, yes. But yeah, but that is everything for the Yankee show here. Any last thoughts you have, Bryant, for the Yankees here, and we'll head on out.
Yeah. Actually, Occupancy just touched on something that I'm really excited about. Yankee F5 unders, man.
Yes.
With that pitching, oh my goodness. Between the F5 unders and the Yankee or the opposing team F5 total unders as well.
Yes.
Those are so much fun for me because you basically are solely betting on the pitcher. McClanahan, ironically enough, we brought him up. He was a cash cow early on. He just got tired at the end of the year. But there's so much value in those because often it's set at either a half a run or 1.5, and you can get like under a half a run for like plus 145. And I think that's so much better than like sweating out a F5 money line play or totals and stuff like that. Like you're banking on the pitcher itself. And especially against those overmatched teams, ironically enough, I know you guys probably don't want to talk about him, but like DeGrom last year, when he pitched, that was the only thing I would ever look at is because that was the only thing that had value because everything else was minus 290 or minus 380. So
makes you want to bet against him. That's pretty simple for me.
Yeah, exactly. So you either do that or you do that. And so with the Yankees pitching staff, I think that's going to be a big cash cow. I'm going to track it from the beginning of the year to the end of the year and see kind of where I come out. This will be the first year I guess I did it in total. But that's a play that I really like. And like I said, Gleyber Torres is hit props with this being a contract year. I'm really expecting a lot out of him. So hit props, total bases, and I think that's it. And obviously Cole and Rodon game to game strikeout props. Those are going to be big because I think they're going to put up some big K numbers. So,
all right. Any last thoughts for you, Tim, before we head on out here?
Yeah, the Yankees suck. No, I'm kidding. No, it should, in theory, be a good year.
You had to say something mean, right? You couldn't just talk good about them the whole time.
I can't. Sorry, I couldn't talk nice about. I've been talking nice about the Yankees for the last 40 minutes. So, there's not good.
It should be a good year for the hate.
Yeah, it should be a good year for them. That I don't really think there's. I mean, there's a couple of teams in the division that might give them some problems, but they should have a good year.
That's gonna be a fun division. Yeah,
it'll be a fun division to watch.
We're sweeping the Subway Series, FYI. I just want to know. All right, cool.
All right, but that is everything. Be sure to check us out tomorrow at 7:00 for the next episode of Season Previews. I am almost certain we'll have somebody from north of the border on because we are having the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow, which will be fun to get into. I actually really like that Blue Jays team. We'll get into that tomorrow, though. I will be rocking a Blue Jays, I believe, Donaldson jersey, so that's the jersey I got. So I'll be rocking that. But, yeah, we'll be tomorrow, 7:00 for the Toronto Blue Jays show. And then anywhere, I believe, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for the Earle Sports Bet show. But that's going to do it. We have a couple comments before we head on out. Richie just saying, Timmy. And then all right. That is going to do it for this one. Thank you guys as always for watching. Good luck.